Hey everybody, we are back with episode 11 here of or episode 12 now of the Giants OOTP23 playthrough. So, we are at opening day here in 2026, and the roster is pretty much set up. A couple, I guess, surprises you can call it. Dalton Varsho had a pretty good spring, and he's pretty versatile with the glove, so he winds up making the team. Spencer Horwitz was out of options, and, there's worse players out there. He had a really rough spring, but we'll give him a shot to start the year. Kind of is like a, lefty bat off the bench. Luciano will be our utility guy, and Sugasti had a really good spring, so he will be the backup catcher to start the year. Besides that, no big surprises on offense and in the field, but in the pitching side, we had a couple, surprises. We traded away. Let's just go into the transaction log because we made a couple moves before spring training ended. And what month are we in? So we made a small trade. I don't know where the heck it is, but I'm going to go in here because it'll definitely be in my mail. So we traded. All right. Well, first of all, we sent Kevin Kiermaier for a backup catcher. He had a good spring, and we didn't really have a spot for him on the team, so wound up sending him away. And we just shipped off Gregory Santos, who's been with the team for quite a while, since the beginning of the save. He's a 22-year-old, and he finally got his first taste of big league action. It was good. But his FIP wasn't quite as good as his DRA, and he had a really rough spring. So I just wound up flipping him for Kai Tom, pretty much as a minor league player. So that opened up a roster spot for Ercolani. His ratings came along in a recent update by our scout. He's going to make the team as a reliever to start. We'll see what happens. See what happens with him in the rotation, but he will definitely be in the bullpen. Matheson also makes the team. Had a rough spring, but I like his ratings as a strikeout machine. Mikulski makes the team. Had a really good year last year. Decent spring besides that one game. And Gazzino, obviously. Delaplane made it as well. And these guys are obvious. Rasmussen had a horrible spring, but he'll get the fifth starter spot. We brought him in to be that, so we'll at least give him a shot. And then, the rest of the rotation is as listed. This is our opening day lineup. So we have Marco Luciano playing all over the place, like once a week at least, in like 6 different positions, sometimes more. And against lefties, he's spelling Crawford and Burleson quite a bit at DH and second base. So, actually, I'm going to take this off. Definitely want those guys. And then Varsho just backing up in center, playing like once every 6 days. And Horwitz is playing a little bit, but not really too much. I'm not sure what he's going to do, but that's about the team to start the season. So you can see Ercolani slots in at number 6. Mendoza drops to number 8. Just in the top prospects. Ryan Fry moved way up. He now sits at 117, and then Bazanza made it back into the top 200, our top 20, whatever this is, which is really cool. So he was our first round pick in 2023, I think. So very cool there. We're gonna sim up to probably when something happens, then we'll update as we go along. What's up, y'all? Just a little update video here for the Giants Out of the Park Baseball 23 series. So in 2026, I was just running through the save, and I just wanted to see what was going to happen. And I kind of like the team that I built, so I wanted to play it out and see what happened. But bingo, we wound up winning the World Series in our first year. Well, I guess this isn't the first year that I wasn't playing, but I started the last episode I did was the beginning of the season, and I didn't really update it all. and I started the new Twin Series. So I wanted to go back and finish this, and we won the championship. So pretty crazy. Wild ride to get here. Our team we were pretty bad at one point. We were like middling, I should say. We weren't bad, but keep getting emails. We wound up finishing 99 and 63. We wound up playing in the wild card round, and let's see, it was here against Arizona. We beat them 2 games. Went into St. Louis and lost game 1, won game 2, and then won 3 and 4 as well. Had a nice little off time, and then went to the Padres, won the first 2, lost the next 2, and then won 2 more to win the series. And then in the final game, or the final round in the World Series, we faced the White Sox, who pretty good team. Their hitting's not great, but their pitching is really good in this series, and so we won 5-1, lost 5-0, and then won a couple games 5-2, 5-3, and lost this heartbreaker in extras. Drew Rasmussen, who wound up pitching out of the bullpen for, I'll go through that a little bit, but he gave up the run and then lost 2-0. So we were in risk of, this was game 7 here, we were in risk of losing the series, and then huge performance by Shane Bieber, the guy we signed 2 off seasons ago. And he actually missed the first couple rounds of the playoffs, came back here against San Diego, and pitched really well in the playoffs for us, and we're world champions. Mikulski finished it out. He was amazing for us because we had a couple injuries at once where we went pretty deep into our pitching depth. We had we had Robert Cruz making starts for us, and he was fantastic. I mean, his fifth and strike out the walk was unattainable, but he wasn't going to replicate that over a long season, I don't think. But as a ground baller, he was fantastic for us. Kyle Harrison, who, he was fringe. He didn't even make the opening day roster, I don't think. He was tremendous for us. Started a game, but mostly out of the pen. Threw about 50 innings for us. Urkelani was as advertised. He might go into the rotation if I continue to do this. I'll probably play around with the series, but he was awesome. He went through some rough patches, but overall really good. We traded for AJ Minter at the deadline. Threw 21 tremendous innings for us. We signed him to a little extension, so just rewarded him for that. Rasmussen was really, really, really good. He got hurt for a little bit, which is why we had to call on Mikulski and Cruz, but he was awesome. And then Aaron Bummer closed for most of the year for us, and he was really good. But when we got Minter, it was a little redundant. But he was still really good. Ethan Roberts is bad, but his FIP was much better. Godino is his usual self with his ERA around 3, and so I just want to do the update. Oh, actually, I should talk about this. Casey Schmidt screwed up his knee. He was having a really, really, really good year, and that sucked to see. But we called up Gabriel Gonzalez at the end of the year, had a really good playoff, OPS near 1,000, and only had 23 plate appearances in the playoffs. I was very comfortable starting him over the alternative options. This was like Alec Burleson, who, after a Silver Slugger last year, he won a Silver Slugger last year, cut his WRC plus in half and negative 1.7 WAR. So that was Burleson this year. I don't know what happened. His BABIP was low, like 100 points lower. So maybe he's in the middle of this player. I don't know. But Luciano, fantastic season as like our super utility guy. He wound up playing a lot of first base down the stretch, but played a lot of the corners, second base, third base. He was all over the place, but a really good hitter when he was out there. Correa, once again, had a pretty slow start, turned it around, and had his best offensive season yet. So really happy with that. Suarez, another guy who was off to a horrible start, definitely turned it around. His defense was dreadful in left, which drove down his WAR, but overall a good season from him. And Grisham had by far his best probably season of his career. I guess he had a good 2022, but that wasn't a full year. Yeah, he had a really good year for us. Matt Artega doesn't look too impressive, but he turned it on. He was our 2-hitter for a little bit when we were really struggling. Then Arenado in his first year in San Francisco, about league average hitter, but a really good glove at third and a 3-WAR season. So, yeah, he got dropped down in the order, but I'm still happy with that out of him. Elliot Ramos, a really disappointing year. His WRC plus was like in the 70s at one point. Turned it on at the end of the year, wound up starting in the playoffs, but I'm happy I didn't sign him to a long-term extension. He wants 7.8 in arbitration. We'll probably give it to him, but he's on thin ice here, especially with some of these corner outfielders we got coming up. Yeah, that's about it. I mean, Sean Murphy was much better this year, even if his WAR wasn't that much higher. He missed a good amount of time, and Sugesti, who we put in, who was horrible, and Kyle Higashioka, who we also put in and then released, was even worse. So yeah, and then Horowitz is good in his limited time. I want to get him more plate appearances next year because he's done nothing but hit when he's been up here. RJ Mayer, defensive replacement, played a good center field, whatever. He was good. But yeah, that's just a little update I wanted to do. We wound up winning the World Series in 2026, mostly off camera, but I didn't make too many moves at the deadline or anything. So this was pretty much all you would have saw anyway. So thank you for watching. I'll see if maybe I'll do another update video on this because, you got to follow up the World Series. So yeah, thanks for watching. We'll talk to you next time. Bye.